there is a lot of stuff going on in the crypto sphere, and you're probably wondering, like, why is this crypto market so messed up? We're really going to go and dive deep into that today, so don't go anywhere. By the end of this video, you'll have pretty much all the insights that you need, and you can ask all the questions that you would like, and probably understand why we keep touching 12K and keep coming back down, and why Bitcoin dominance is at pretty much an all-time high since we had our bull market start. So this is really cool stuff, guys, and I'm really excited to, fill in all your questions inside. What all those like really big questions. You're probably going like, what the hell's going on in the market, right? You're probably feeling like that. I know a lot of people that actually are feeling like that, and that's okay. It's quite normal to have those feelings when the market's doing what it does. So if you guys would like, I'll throw in the chat to join me on YouTube. Say hi if you're here, and also if you have questions about the market, things that you'd like to know, don't forget that you can always ask which cryptos we should be talking about today. This is an AMA, so you will be able to ask questions and get answers. So definitely interact. Definitely, if you're watching right now on Facebook or YouTube, smash up some likes, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content. I'm first going to talk about what's been going on in the US, especially with Coinbase. So this is a really interesting topic that came up today, and I think it's really notable to actually look and read into it. I'm not going to go over the whole post so that you guys don't have to sit there waiting for me to explain it. But basically what this post is talking about is a lawsuit that happened in the Northern District of California that basically says that Coinbase, Kraken, and Cryptsy, which was basically a scammy exchange, it's really interesting how this happened, but they're making it so that investors have rights. So people that invest in crypto exchanges from now on, based off the precedent of this case, are going to have rights to their crypto. So they're going to hold these people accountable, which is really interesting. And I'll go over some points with that. Just if you're here, nice to see you, Nate, Clinton, Sean, Adel, and Febin, and Hilda, and Neil over there on Facebook. And then if you're watching on YouTube, it's good to see you, Steve, David, etc. So, you like the Crypto Amigos podcast, guys? Keep joining. We do that every single week. So, if you guys haven't saw it, the Crypto Amigos podcast we started doing with two other content creators. We all have different points of view. One is an anarchist named Chris Rice Crypto. Another one is Rob Harris, who comes more from like, the pro, like the kind of pro-Trump, I guess, but I'm not. So like we kind of have like differing views, but in terms of crypto, it becomes really good conversation. So do join us there. Now, when we're talking about this case, basically what this ends up meaning is you as a crypto investor and me will have rights to our crypto, and the exchanges are going to be held liable or responsible for anything that happens in terms of maintaining functional practices. What that means is like what you see with BitMEX and all Bitfinex stuff that's happening with market manipulation. Things like that are actually going to be held accountable. And that's quite interesting stuff. So we're going to look in that and explain why that actually happens. And it's quite interesting. All right. And I left this inside of the bottom of the video in the description. So definitely smash into that and then go look in deeper to this, because it's a really interesting finding based off of that. You're welcome. Please, Ross says, Neo and ONT. Give me a sec, Ross. I'll get to him. Guys, throw your questions in the comments, please. If you want something either done now live, or if you watch this later and want a cryptocurrency, there's something that you want covered, definitely do throw those in there. If you want us to discuss something on the Migos podcast, throw it in there as well. So this is a really interesting thing, kind of the reason why I said Bitcoin is not going to stop till the all-time high. And the reason why that is basically dominance has climbed to a astronomical level. Now, right now, at this exact time, we've had a dump of $300. Never a big deal. And, that's not something that should faze you. We're in a choppy market right now, and chops are normal. So if you're scared of the chop, don't be scared of the chop. It's all good. Okay, so the market dominance was at 68.8, actually got to 70.6 today, which was insane to look at. I'm going to go and show you that in a minute, so don't leave anywhere. And what they're talking about is a lot of people are saying that by November, we're probably going to see a lot of the altcoins 50%, 40% cheaper than they are right now. Now, it sounds kind of crazy, but I don't think that is, because here is why. If you look at the total market cap right now, and you go and you analyze that versus 2017, what do you notice? You notice that Bitcoin and the total market cap has not really gone up in correlation at all. You hear about all these big institutions, you hear about the trade wars and how it's going to increase, the price of Bitcoin and crypto is going to have all these new people, but you don't see that. That's really interesting to note. And you should know that when you see these things, that it means something, right? OTC markets are on fire, but you're not seeing it on the regular marketplace. And why is that? It's because who is going to sell you Bitcoin when this new whole flippening happens? And we have Eris and Bakkt and TD Ameritrade and Greystone and BlackRock and all the, well, who's going to sell it to you? They are. And they're going to take it from their OTC market and sell it to the live market to you guys, which will increase the price. And I'm expecting us to hit 20K, and then everyone that's been out of the market will go, oh my God, it wasn't a bubble. And that's when we see the FOMO buying. And that's when we shoot above 20. And when we get above 20, it won't be weird for us to go to 30 or even 40K for Bitcoin. That's something literally possible. Okay, so we have seen some alts do okay, like Ren, but generally they're really, really bad. Wow, and NPXS is 2 sats? Yeah, it either is going to die or you should buy. Now, I'll also talk about UND today, about what happened in the last 24 hours and how I made a 50% trade on UND in literally like hours, and I posted about it in their own chat. Because I was like, whoa, this is cool. I posted the chart in their chat saying, be fearful when people are greedy and greedy when people are fearful. I literally used that exact line. And what happened was it jumped within 6 to 8 hours, I believe. It jumped 52% today. Wild stuff, honestly. When you feel like something's really undervalued, knowing the team is really good and seeing how the trajectory of the market was going with them, it was only a matter of time. Now, what I find really interesting here is last week I told you guys that Wells Fargo would not allow you to take your own money, your own actual currency that you hold in their bank and spend it on cryptocurrency. So basically, it's not your money, right? Because if someone tells you you can't have your own money to spend how you like, that means it's not yours. And that stuff is something you should always note, because it's really something that should bother you, okay? We'll see. 10,800 short term? Yeah, absolutely, Clinton. We'll go over that in a sec. So what does all this mean? Well, they find out yet again another money laundering scandal happens, and they call Bitcoin a money laundering scheme, and they call, cryptocurrencies all money laundering schemes and for drugs. And what do we see? We see JP Morgan with their whole drug thing. We see Deutsche Bank a year and a half ago with their $282 million manipulation of the Forex market. And now you see the bank who doesn't let you have your own money to spend on crypto is now involved in a money laundering scheme. So it's pretty interesting stuff that you see all these things, as well as if you guys watched Altcoin Daily's video, this is also really interesting. Hey, what's up, Vince? What's up, Terra Nova, my homie? So what's also really, really interesting is, we have all these negative things happen, yet Bitcoin's price doesn't really get affected. I really think that's quite something that, you should click on and hear that in Altcoin Daily's video, to get back to that he said today, look at this video of Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary in 2013 saying Bitcoin's crossed $1 billion. It's a real asset. He's going to buy some. And then you listen to what he's saying now. Oh, Bitcoin's a scam. I bought $200 and it didn't go up. I bid this portfolio on Coinbase. What do you believe? Do you believe what they tell you they're doing? Or do you believe what you see they actually do? Listen with your eyes is what I've been saying for over a year. You have to be really, really careful. Okay, now let's jump into the charts because that's important. As I said a couple days ago, I said right as we're getting close to this blow off top that happened, I wrote this. It was at 5:30. No, it was at 5:15, and at 5:35 we had this huge drop. And what I said was the last time we had 8 daily candles so bullish, and I'll go to the daily chart to show you this. The last time we had 8 daily candles so bullish, we dropped very hard, as an example right here, and that we had a huge pump blow off top. And I thought that would happen again tomorrow. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It happened again. And now we've come and tested this level, and this is why this blue line, I'll make it red so it's really obvious that this is resistance. It's trying to break through. And if you see, even in the short term, we've tried and touched it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Even today, we just touched that line at 12,000 and boom, we came back down. I think that you have a couple opportunities to buy on Bitcoin, and here's the areas that you should look at. Number 1, this first zone is between 11.5 and 11.25, okay? That's your first buy zone if you're looking to buy. This is not financial advice, okay? The second area that I'm going to buy is my second zone that I've had here for quite some time at the 10,800 to 10,500, 10,400 range. This is another area where we can have a nice buy zone, which usually bounces from, and not just from now. I go all the way back to when we had our last big, huge pump. So as you can see, these are areas where we had liquidity in the past and where we bounced from and kept coming up. So that's why I'm looking at those as possible areas. And this was resistance a lot of times, this 11,700, but we broke that, right? So now when we look over here on the daily, we see that this is acting probably as support. So this is a zone I'm thinking that it might be a good buy opportunity. Now, if we drop through that zone, we'll come into this area, which is going to be the CME gap that we had over the weekend from last week to now. And then if we drop again, we have that 9,700 and 9,400. And obviously, we have the gap buy down here and the 50% retrace buy down there. Okay, so those are areas to keep your eyes on. Now, if we're looking at where we're going next, this is also very important. Let's look over here. What's up, Costa? Nice to see you, man. And David, banks are legit shady. They totally are, man. All right, so where can we go next? So as you see, the Kijinsen's always at that 50% retrace, that area, right? And we're looking at a couple things. So over the weekend, generally we pump, but we could definitely dump this week, right? We've seen that happen before where we dumped over the weekend, and then we finally caught our bottom at the Kijinsen, which is always our mode of equilibrium. The market likes to come back to that level, and we're not that far away from it, and we keep hitting this resistance. And the more we tap that resistance, the stronger as a resistance it will get. It won't get weaker. The market will get weaker. If it's support, it keeps touching it. We'll eventually we'll break that support. If it's resistance, we'll break that resistance, or we'll either come up and touch this area. Let me just delete this off. We'll come up to the 236. At 13K, but I'm really leaning this weekend to coming back into this zone right here, whether it be the 50% retrace, which is the most likely area over the weekend, or we could come into this the 382, which would be 11,127, or we just come into that box area and tap somewhere in here. So there's a couple areas that we have to keep note of. And another thing to really look at is this. We have to look at our Bitcoin dominance right now. This is unsurpassed. Look at this. Okay, let me just show you how crazy this is. I drew this in February, March. I was like, we're going to come up to this bull run. I've been saying it for many times, like a long time. Anyone who's been watching knows. But look how high we are right now. 71%. Alts are absolutely bleeping wrecked. Like, beyond wrecked. I've been saying this for 2 weeks that I'm not touching alts. And this is why. There's a few projects that I know are making revenue and are going to do fine long term. But in general, you either hold exchange coins, Bitcoin, or no coins. Honestly, it's almost like that. At this point, we need full out reversals to get back into the market. And here's another thing that you should notice. Bitcoin just dropped $300, but its dominance is rising, which means that it's going to keep rising even if it drops. And let me just tell you something here. We didn't have any ICOs really the last time it was this high. we didn't have ICOs when our Bitcoin dominance was in July 17. They weren't really there yet. It was like the IEOs in April or March or February. They weren't really there yet. So what does this tell us? It tells us that there are IEOs and some are going to do well, but in general, the market is going towards 72, 73. I don't think it's going to get to the 77%, but it is not looking good. And when we talk about why I think even though Bitcoin's jumped so much compared, why I think, look at our total market cap. Last time we had a run up, right? Our total market cap hit $800 billion. We are almost at the same level. Okay. We're at what? Almost, 20,000. We were $4,000, $6,000 away. And look at the market cap at the very top. We weren't even half of that. So that means no new money is coming in yet. No new money, nothing. Okay, so be really honest with yourself and go, if there's not really that much money coming in, where is the money coming from? Ask yourself that question. Why is Bitcoin so highly valued? Why is mining up so much? Why is difficulty starting to go back up? What does all this mean? It's something you really need to question and ask yourself, because you're going, 294 billion is not that much money. When we were at 294 billion last time, do you know what Bitcoin was at? Probably about 8K. Right? Maybe 7, maybe not even that high, right? We look at that. And that's something that is really important to note, okay? No new money is coming in the market yet. New retail investors are not in the market yet. They're waiting for Eris, they're waiting for BAC, they're waiting for TD Ameritrade to make it a one-click pony. Buy Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin, ETFs. That's what's coming, and that's what we have to be be real with ourselves and go, that's what we're waiting for, okay? So again, just to show you the gap you kissed that we had last week. So our last weekend, we had a gap right here, and it's between 11,000 and 10,800. So we could fill that gap over the weekend, potentially. Keep your eyes on that, and if we do fill it, we'll have another really big gap down, which we'll have to fill. August is usually a terrible month in crypto. It's not usually a very good month. Keep that in mind as well. Just being real, because ETH, a couple of guys in my group were like, where could ETH go? And I said, if Bitcoin doesn't go on a run again, it will go up. So there's the arrows right there. We were looking at the 6-hour chart. We saw the 4-hour gap we had our 4-hour edge to edge, but then they were saying, well, what about the 6-hour? And I said, I don't know. I don't think it's going to get there. And they were like, why? I said, I feel like Bitcoin's just going to run up, and the 4-hour already finished, right? So, and it rejected the top of that cloud. If it had gone above and tested and gone higher, sure, but that didn't happen. So these are things we have to look for. And this is why you should be learning about the Ichimoku, because it helps you understand what to look for and what you're seeing. When you see it break below this Ichimoku right here on the 4-hour, that is a good time to short ETH. If you had done that and got out right at the bottom of that candle, you would have been out at 221, and you could have shorted it for the last, $10, which it seems like not that much, $10, but we're looking at 5-6%. 10x that, it's 50%. So it's a really nice trade. And if you know this stuff to look for it, you can actually benefit from it. And if we look at Bitcoin longs, they've been going up and up and up, right? And then if we look at Bitcoin shorts, they've also gone up and up and up. So it's quite interesting to see where will the market go next. Now let's jump into some of the other coins that are out there. Litecoin had its nice day when it had a nice little movement right here when it had its halving. It touched the Kijun-sen, came back up, and then said, nope, sorry, I'm going to go further down. Litecoin right now against US dollar even is not doing well. So we're going to look at US dollar as well today, just to show you that, yes, Bitcoin's bullish. Not all the cryptos are done, but like it hit 106. I remember selling at around 102, 103, some of the Litecoin I had, knowing that it's very likely going to come down. And I was okay with it coming down because I kept just a little bit. That was all profit, okay? When you say alts, does that still include ETH and Litecoin? Yes, it includes ETH, it includes Litecoin. I'm talking about Bitcoin, mainly Ethereum and Litecoin. They are altcoins technically still. They are still really good projects. But Clinton, honestly, like Bitcoin is king right now. And if you can see the charts and you look at it deeply, you'll understand that. Let's look at EOS. EOS, macro downtrend. Secondary market downtrend. So we'll go from daily. We'll look at the primary and secondary markets of these coins to give you why I'm saying what I'm saying. Primary, downtrend. Secondary, downtrend. These are not good trading opportunities here.
These are very volatile trading opportunities, and you have to be really careful. You don't want to get sucked in. BNB had a nice little rally because of the Paralin announcement for IEOs, but even that, like, even BNB hasn't been doing so hot, right? It went up to $31, and now it's sitting at 30, so it's kind of been doing better, but again, we see that even it on a short term is on a downtrend. Macro-wise, it's still technically in an uptrend. We don't see it really. It hasn't really broken it too badly. I mean, you could say it did over here, but it hit the bottom of the cloud and bounced, and now it's kind of trading in the cloud. If it gets below the cloud again, I would see that it would go in that $20 range potentially. That's really interesting. Okay, so let's jump in and check some of your guys' coins. We have Link, we have ENG, we have NEO, ONT, EVX, and if you guys are watching and you want any other coins, just throw them in there. Link on Coinbase, macro trend, not doing so hot ever since they got on there and hit $5. They've just been on a downtrend. We heard about that huge amount of tokens they put into Binance, and they did have a nice edge-to-edge on the 4-hour, but it's been slowly declining. It's at $2.24. I mean, at $2.22, and you know, Link doesn't look as good on US dollar, and it doesn't look so good as well against BTC at this point because it kind of hit its top. You know, it had its waves up, you know, and after those waves came up, you know, it had 4 and then 5, and now it's banned down, and we could see that it could very likely just float around down there, but right now it is bearish on the daily. If we look at it, it's below the cloud, so it's bearish. And if we go and use some of the tools that we have for the Ichimoku, we can see other things that tell us it's bearish, like our Chiku span is bearish. You know, we even are bearish, like our first level of resistance is the Tenkin, our second level resistance is the Kijin, bottom of the cloud, top of the cloud. It's just super bearish, so we have to be realistic here. Recent released Wink on Binance, gonna be on some low time frame charts. Yeah, Wink is a complete shit coin, completely honest. That's what I think about it as. It had its moments, you know, of greatness at like, I think it was like 3 or 4x, and now it's just kind of sitting there at that 3 sat. I don't like low sat coins personally. MPXS, I saw that someone posted that it was 2 sats. No, it's not 2 sats, it's 4. But yeah, super low. And then even things like Dent, these things are actually used already. They have use case, and they're all just slowly getting there. Now, will they reverse? Maybe, but I think it could definitely happen. There you go. Finally, a guy using Ichimoku. Christian, it's all about the Ichimoku, man. All about it. And make sure that your guys using the right settings. If you're using Ichimoku for crypto, 2060, 120, 30, you can use the other settings as well. They do work, but these are actually proven to be from statistics more accurate. Hi Joel, UND did a good job. Thanks for your TA. No problem, Rolf. My pleasure. VRA, you can't really check on your. I'll go on the Binance Dex actually at the end of this, so I can show you guys VRA and also UND. But let me go through some of the other requests. So we have Neo. Neo doesn't look good, and I already know that because I just did a quick market scan this morning, and I was like, whoa. And this is why. We broke that downtrend. We broke this trend line, and it's been like just bouncing down hard. Thanks, Chris. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. I have to talk to you, actually, so hit me up after the show. Correlation with the Chinese, yes, USD Chinese yen. I'll also look at that in a second. So we see that NEO is on a downtrend. On a macro scale, it's on a downtrend, a really big downtrend from the top. It's down. It's one of those coins that are still down at this rate, 94%. At the bottom, not doing so hot. If we look at it on a shorter time frame, we're still in a downtrend, but not so bad. Had a little recovery, but yeah, this was more of a secondary trend up, and then we continued moving down. So Neo right now doesn't look very hot. I would stay away. ONT, and these projects will come back. Some of the really good ones will, but some of them won't. So you have to be realistic. If you're holding on a coin, you could have some coins in your pocket that, you know, could drop. What happened with gold bars? You're talking about carrot bars? I made a video about that a while ago, and it said, I felt like it was a scam. It wasn't a scam, but the way that they run the operation, the way they were using a green screen to do a high-level video to talk about how they're going to be having $1 billion bank and how they have all this gold and how their gold actually costs more to buy than buying gold itself. That was weird. There's other coins. I think it's like it's a DigiDAO that have real gold in vaults as well, but they charge 1-to-1. So that makes sense, right? So that's also something to note. All right, Chinese yen. I'll show you. So ONT again had a relief rally here, and it's still on the downtrend. And that's how I know it's a relief rally, because I look at the macro trend here. It's on a downtrend right there. Obviously, from really macro trend, we're still on downtrend. And when you want to see if it's a relief rally, it's really simple. It pulls it back. Okay, so we see a pullback right here. It's downtrend, pullback. That's a secondary trend. You could make money playing that trend by going against it. And then here you're going to go back into your short. And then there we have a relief rally. And then we go back in our short. And we pretty much stay in that until this relief rally. And then we go back into a short. You can't short ONT, but this is how you would play it when you're looking at alts. Question before I go to the Chinese yen versus BTC. Alts will only grow when BTC starts to go sideways. I don't even think that, Vincenzo. I'm calling Tara. I don't think that. And here's why. BTC has to hit an all-time high. Guys, the reason why I said Bitcoin won't stop, the reason why the video said Bitcoin is not going to stop is because Bitcoin has to hit an all-time high for people to come back into the market. Everyone knows what Bitcoin is. They'll come into the market, they'll look at Bitcoin, then XRP will come in and market the crap out of their coin, and it'll be really cheap compared to Bitcoin, and that will all start going, and then altcoins that have use cases and actually built something will start moving up in value. And exchanges will make a lot of money with their coins, because new money comes in, people spend money on exchanges, they use those actual exchange coins, those provide value for those exchange coins. So that's basically what I think will happen, and very likely will probably do it. And we will have an alt season, but not until that Bitcoin hits that all-time high. I truly believe that, and it's just because of what I'm doing for my analysis on the market every day. I see that. It's so clear. It's almost clear as glass when I'm looking through it that this market needs people to come in, and they won't come in until they know that Bitcoin was not a bubble. And that will happen at $20,000. It might happen at 18, but people won't really come in until they're like, wow, this actually is a real market, and it's coming. And there's a lot of fundamentals going behind that as well. What will be the best to invest your money? I'll go into that kind of a little bit, but let's look at the Chinese yen. So the CNY versus the USD. So the Chinese yuan, it's dropped like a fly. Wow. So we also have these trade wars with Chinese and US dollar. And then we can also look at the other side of USD CNY, to look at the other side of it. So we see that US dollar has gained a ton against the Chinese yuan. And if we look at that versus Bitcoin, BTC USD, we can see that there's some types of similarities, if you guys can see that. And that's why Dave is saying, hey, look at that, because there's been some similarities there. And it's really interesting. Bitcoin had this double bottom, and it's almost at the same time that Trump was hating on Bitcoin when that happened. And then we saw it start to rise, and it started to rise with the USD CNY starting to fly up. So we see some correlation there. Same when we see with gold. Gold right now is also starting to move back up. My computer's a little slow, but here we go. Gold is also doing very similar things. So Bitcoin's correlation to gold actually has increased by three times as much, which is really interesting. And it's because people are worried about these markets. The DJI, Dow Jones Index, we see the VIX has shown actual volatility again, which hasn't happened since May. And that's not good. VIX is not supposed to be really volatile, which is a bad thing for the VIX. And then the SPX, we saw that it also had a nice dump. And it's below the Kijun and got below the cloud. And now it's trading in the cloud on the 4-hour. But on the daily, it's touched the bottom of the cloud and made a tweezer bottom. Does that mean we're going to stop? No, I think this is like one of those, okay, crap, this stuff's going to be bad. And then it's going to drop even harder. We've seen that also happen as well. All right, let's look at the daily. All right, so USD, CNY. We'll look at the daily. I thought I was on that actually before. So yeah, the daily, look at that. Just shooting up. There's been a lot of the trade war is bad. Like it's not good for crypto. Not good for the Chinese and the U.S. dollar fighting it out. But it's great for crypto, is what I'm trying to say. Is because people get scared and they don't know where their money's going to go, and they know that Bitcoin could be a safe haven, as well as gold, which is why I showed you that. And silver, radium, platinum, palladium, all these will also start benefiting from that if people get scared, because they want to put their money in something that won't lose value. And if you're Chinese right now, you're probably freaking out, because if you look at the yuan versus the dollar, your money is becoming much less valuable. So you're kind of getting scared here and might want to go into something that is less volatile, because that's a heck of a lot of volatility when we're looking at a forex pairing going down 74 pips in a couple days. That's scary for people. Okay, it's not a good thing for them. You invested 16,000 R with Bitcoin 101, promised a 500% return. Nothing is half. Well, you never trust anyone that tells you, Alta, that they're going to give you a 500% return. That's promises are always broken in this industry, and usually promises are by people that aren't going to actually deliver. I've learned that. People be honest with you. They'll say, hey, you know what? You might lose some money. That's what honest people that are trading for you say, and they let you know the risk before you start. This person sounds like they basically promised you the world, and I hope that you can recover some of your funds. That's something that I definitely do. Now, a couple other coins just to go on and finish up the requests. So we got ENG, one of my favorite coins long term. They have some really cool. Secret privacy stuff that they do. And the thing is, right here on the daily, it's been on also a macro downtrend. For a while, it's had relief rallies there and there. Sorry if you see this. This was from an older perfect trade that we made, actually. So we'll just delete this here. But when we go on the 4 hour, let's just give me 1 sec here. Let me just find, where's my, there we go, auto. Here we see that we've had a relief rally there. We had a relief rally here. And now we've gone down and had a relief rally here. But every time we have a relief rally, we're going lower. But that's also because we're looking at ENG BTC. I don't think ENG has a USDT. Oh, it does have a USDT pairing. So if we look at it, it's actually just in a box. It's in that nice little rectangle box. It's been kind of trading within here sideways. So you're playing ups and downs. So we'll see if it hits that bottom of the box here and then kind of jumps back up. Could turn into a double bottom, what we see right there. That's pretty interesting. You've lost $10,000 in gold? Why? Why have you lost $10,000 in gold, Zanat? It's just gone up for a while, for quite a while. I hope if you need any help with that, I can send you some resources to get you guys started on what you should be looking for. Because no one should be losing money, and that sucks that if you are. Mine with NG's crypto. Okay, yeah, you're gone. See you later, bud. All right. Now, let's just jump into the last one that someone asked me. They said Nano, and then they said EVX. EVX has had a pretty interesting move, and I'm going to show you why it's only interesting for me. I'm going to show you how many pump and dumps they've had. Here's a pump and dump. Here's a pump and dump. Here's a pump. Will it dump? I don't know. It's on a nice move. EVX does have an exchange in the US, but it does these like 25, 30, 40% moves. And we all remember when it did earlier this year when it went up, I think it was 400 or 500%. Yeah, 500 or 450%. So that was really nice for them. I actually met their team here in Bangkok because they're a Bangkok-based project. And, I'm not saying they're pumping and dumping it, but someone's pushing the price up for them, which is quite interesting. Now, looking at Nano's been one that, it's kind of been on my radar to look at where they go. It did have a nice move. I actually drew out a little while back, and I saw that it was a nice secondary trend. It looked like it was going to break that and just continue on. It was getting bullish. The Chiku span was bullish. We were above the cloud. It was a nice TK twist. Kumo twist. And then we had, everything was in the right move. And then we just fell because Bitcoin dropped. Bitcoin just went parabolic for a second or third or fourth time. So that's interesting. Where will BTC be at the end of the year? Great question. So I had someone ask me this. I was on with CoinGecko yesterday. I was on a call, and he was asking me, where do I see the market going? And so I was on with co-founder Tim, and I said, well, let's look at this. So where could we go in the short term? No, let's look at where we can go for the long term. So I pulled out this fib extension and I went from the bottom all the way to the top of our last move and down to the Kijinsen. Hold on, I'm in the wrong time frame. And then onto the Kijinsen, which was right about here. So where will we go next is a good question. This is where I think we have potential to go. All the way up to the 1414. And if we get there, we could go all the way to the 2414. So these are areas that you can keep your eyes on. And then if we do the same thing, because I like to do it also with a regular fib retracement. Let's look here. We also have, on a shorter term, areas that we would go to, push up towards the 236, back down toward the 0382 or the 50% mark. This is going to happen, but what you should expect, and I'm saying this now because you guys are here and you can basically quote me on this when it happens. When we break this high, when we hit that 0618, we're going to shoot up faster than we did before. So last time we went from 8,000 all the way to 20,000. So if we're starting there, we're probably going to go to like 30, 35K if we get into that move that we had, and then we'll come back down. So that will be a FOMO rally. And if all this stuff happens in the world right now where people are scared about their currency, about Venezuela and Argentina and all of these countries like Turkey that are having currency issues and hyperinflation issues, where do you think people will put their money? Some of them will put it in gold. Some of them will start experimenting with cryptocurrencies. So that's quite an interesting one. All right. Any questions here? Alta, please send me some safe investment plans. I'm not a financial advisor, Alta, but I definitely can help you learn how to do this yourself. I'm an educator, and that's my platform is education. So if you guys want to learn how to do this stuff, I will definitely be approachable. Send me a message on here or at Coach K Crypto on Twitter or on Telegram. You can always message me there. So send me the resources, please, after the lecture. No problem, Samad. Send me a message because I am super busy, as you guys probably well know. And so I get, it happens. I get too busy and then things go and I forget. So send me a message. Was Travel Block a scam? It's very much looking so that it was one of those projects that either was a scam or just did not live up to their expectations. I know that they have their platform there and it works. But yeah, it hasn't looked very good. I lost money. My buddy Tara, who's on this feed, lost as well. It's unfortunate, but this is part of the way that things go in crypto. Unfortunately, there are scams and there are projects that are going to fail. 90% of projects in the real world fail, guys. It's just part of the way that things are. I mean, I've lost in quite a few projects as well. Travel Block was a scam. You were supposed to be their advisor. You lost a lot too. Yeah, so Tara was actually working with them. It happens. People do bad stuff in this market, and what can we do? We just do our best, and we can continue to move on. And some of the investments that I made were not good, and they're not always going to be good. It just happens. So will you ever invest in an ICO, IEO again? Great question, Dave. An IEO, yes, probably on Binance or Huobi. But ICO, I did invest in Ferrum, and Ferrum's still up, I think, like 1.2 for me, something like that. But I really like what they're doing in their company and what they're trying to achieve. So I'll back that. And if it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well. But the idea for me is more that I look deep into projects now, and I look to see how are they going to how are they going to give value to their token, not how their token is going to give value to their project. Projects that say to me, we're making revenue, all these things that create revenue, like look at an exchange. Binance makes revenue when you use their token. It has lots of use case utility. You can use it around the world. You can use it in hotels. You can use it for airlines. You can use it all over the place. That's utility. So I look for stuff that has utility and also a business that makes money. An exchange token, the reason why I say Bitcoin and exchange tokens that are big exchanges like Binance, Huobi, OKB, maybe not the best, but maybe okay. BitMax, I really like that they give you money every single day, USDT, and you can buy more Bitcoin. So I like that as well. So there's lots of really cool things out there, but those are all money generating businesses. So that's what I'm looking for these days. It's a great question, Dave, though. Hail Degen, what's up, degenerate? We're all degens in this crypto sphere right now. The market's kind of meh, but you know how it is. I'm just gonna go quickly to look at the Binance DEX and show you guys what happened with UND. So yesterday, if you're not in UND's chat, go join it. It's Unification Foundation on Telegram. And I posted a chart on there. And you can also join my group, t.me, Athena Education, on Telegram as well, so you can get a part of that. But what I was looking at yesterday, I saw UND was like severely undervalued. So I was looking at this and going, this is a project that's actually doing something in the space. Not even in the space, they're actually focused on real business. And they were at like 10,000 sats, BNB sats, right? So it was like $3 or 3.3 cents. So I bought it yesterday, and I posted saying, you know, be greedy when people are fearful, and fearful when people are greedy. And I bought, I think it was like 12,500 UND. And then today I went on and looked, and I was like, holy crap, 12,500 UND are worth quite a bit more BNB. So that was a great trade, and I do that sometimes because I feel that that's important. Now, doing TA on a DEX is like really almost impossible. So if you guys want to see my Bitforex stuff, go on to the chat so you can see it. And then someone asked about VRA. Veracity is in a DEX competition. They've had nice moves. Right now, there's some issues right here, and I'll tell you what they are. Like, completely honest, look at how people are stacking the DEX with really big orders. And one of the guys in the competition, there's some guy who was in their group, and was and I'm an advisor to Veracity, so I don't like see this as well. There's one guy who's got a huge wallet that's basically pushing price down and then pushing price up with his massive amounts of BNB. So I don't really like that because it looks bad on the project. And plus, you know, there's no one buying right now, and there's a ton of people trying to sell a ton. So it's kind of like makes the DEX competition not so good. So I do like Veracity, though. I think what they're doing with, you know, don't you hate YouTube ads and having to watch them all the time? Wouldn't you like getting paid for that? The whole idea is that you opt in to get paid to watch ads, and then they pay you. Or you can opt out and go, I don't really want to watch ads. It gives you the ability to have that as well. Okay, so that's basically all the questions you guys had. So I'm going to go. I'll see you all on Monday at the same time. So every Monday and Friday, I do these videos. If you have comments and you missed this, don't worry. Throw a comment in the video after it's done and ask me what you would like me to cover. If it's not even TA, it's okay. I do research into projects. I do interviews with projects, lots of stuff like that. So tell me what you guys would love to learn about. And I'm also going to start giving away cryptocurrency for users commenting and being active inside of the chat. So definitely don't delay on messaging and doing all that kind of great stuff. Okay, so I would love to give you, whether it be anyone in this group or, you know, taking part, some basic, you know, could be basic attention token, it could be UND, it could be Veracity, it could be BNB. It really could be a toss-up. I'll pick randomly and then give some free crypto away. So definitely get in there, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much, Tara. It's great seeing you. I love you, brother. Dave as well. Good seeing you. And everyone else, all you guys are great. It's really a pleasure to have, you know, all you guys here and everything. So when BTC giveaway, I never give away BTC, but you can trade whatever I give you. You can trade a little bit for BTC if you like, but I generally don't hold shit coins. So the coins that I hold, those are the ones that probably will be okay. But yeah, that's it for everyone today. Have yourselves a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday, and let's see where the Bitcoin goes over this weekend. I think we're gonna probably go down. Right now, that's my inclination because we keep touching 12K. But here's the thing you have to look for. If we get above and close above this red line at $12,000 and we close above it, meaning the candle is green and above this line or red and above this line, closed. So the bottom of the candle, if it's red, is above, or the green candle is above, closed. That will mean we're very likely to see a move up towards that 13K level. Specifically more 12.5 and then up to 13K, which is right on this tweezer top. So that's where we're looking, 12.9, 12.5 if we go up, but I'm really expecting the move down to 11.5, 11.3, and if we go lower to fill the gap, we'll see it around 11,100 or 10,800. So those are the areas you should look for, and scale and orders and all that kind of stuff to give yourselves a little bit of room and leeway. Don't try to get the bottom. Don't try to hit the tops. Try to get the meat in between, and you'll make good trades, and you'll have less stress. We're all about less stress, right? So don't try to be a hero. Just try to make good trades, and don't over risk and don't over leverage. Just little bits at a time add up. Okay. Have yourselves a great weekend, guys. Coach K signing out.